Hello everyone, my name is Patricia Restrepo and I am the Exhibitions Manager and Assistant Curator at the Contemporary Arts Museum, Houston. Today we're going on a field trip to visit the makeshift studio of the artist Cheryl Donegan in New York. Cheryl is going to share with us the most recent project that she has been working on during the pandemic entitled Margiela Homeschool. For all of Cheryl's fans out there, you will remember the solo exhibition that CAM co-presented with the Aspen Art Museum last year, which featured some of the artist's formative feminist video work alongside her recent explorations in painting and clothing, which she considers an extension of her performative interests. The series of work that we're going to see today continues the artist's investigations and experiments into mark making, beauty, fashion, and the nature of art making itself. Cheryl adds her own flair to a topic of considerable interest to me, which is the act of chopping, layering, and collaging unexpected materials to form newly synthesized entities. So let's head over to New York to view this playful body of work with Cheryl and her family.
Hey Cheryl, you're back in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Well, you're supposed to be in Brooklyn. What are you doing back in your old studio here?
I'm back home. I'm back in my studio, which was my studio for 22 years in my home, and now about a year ago I moved out to a studio in Brooklyn, a much larger and much better studio for me, and I gave up my studio here to my husband to be a library and his office space, and now I'm back, and Kenny is asking me questions, and my son Cassius is filming this whole interview.
So what happened? You weren't able to get to your studio during COVID time?
No, because I got too afraid to ride the train. So I'm being a good citizen, social distancing, sheltering in place, and I worked on I can't paint here, not enough room anymore, and so I brought home some side projects that I wanted to do, and now I get a chance to do them.
Wow, maybe you can show us some of these side projects, what you've been working on.
Well, this is my project. Actually, a month in, I finished it already, so I got to think of something new to do. But this is a project that I'm calling Margiela Homeschool. Homeschool seems to be a theme, and I've always, really been a fan of the Belgian designer Margiela. And I went so far in the old world, the old times, to fly to Paris for a weekend to see a Margiela show, a retrospective of his work in Paris last year. And for the last couple of years, I've been really interested in clothing, kind of using clothing as an extension of my painting project. And in a funny way, as a legacy of the work I did in video, in terms of, I guess, an extension of the body and performance and stuff like that. So this is my Margiela Homeschool project, and what I did was, I didn't think I was trying to reinvent anything, but just try to use the examples and learn from Margiela. So I had my catalog that I bought, and I was just kind of, been really absorbed in how Margiela will take any kind of clothes. He loves clothes. It's not just high fashion. Old clothes, vintage clothes, jeans, uniforms, and just kind of sort of like a cut and paste, collaging clothes. So I'd had a lot of old vintage clothes that I bought at flea markets or thrift stores or on eBay, and they just kind of piled up, so I did a big closet cleaning, and the things that I thought I could sort of recycle, I decided to turn into new clothes.
That sounds so exciting. Let's see them. Come on, show us some Homeschool Margiela.
Homeschool Margiela. Well, here's one. So you see what I did was I took an old J. Crew cardigan, one of my kids, Cassius, old soccer jersey from Senegal, some lace I had around, and this was the bottom half of a sarong skirt and top ensemble that was a vintage Jeffrey Bean. So I kind of sewed them together to make this little wrap dress, kind of sports couture. And so that's one, Homeschool Margiela. So they kind of range from, here's another one that's made with a kid's top. So it was Basketball City from, basketball lessons on the weekends. and an old Liz Claiborne sort of secretary skirt. So I kind of chopped it up. The shirt was double, and I kind of cut it up and ended up reattaching this other top, and kind of gives the effect of like, you know, baggy basketball style dropped, you know, pants with the underwear showing and stuff like that, you know. But it's, you know, kind of, this is the back, so you kind of shows your back.
Wait a minute. Is this art or is this fashion?
It's everything adjacent. It's art adjacent. It's fashion adjacent. You know, it's funny. I have shown clothing in galleries, but funnily enough, I never really think of it as art. I don't want it to have that burden. I just want it to be playful and be an extension of what I'm thinking about. Like, but I want them to be wearable, usable, washable. I don't want them to be precious. They come from used things. They've all been in the washer 1,000 times, and they're getting a new life. So I just, you know, kind of think of it as like just a fun kind of project. So here's a dress that's like, this is like, I was working with this, it's an embrace. So you wear this dress, and then this another old dress sort of pops through, and it comes around and gives you a little pat on the back. So they range. Here's one this one came from an old child's party dress I found at a thrift store. I kind of made it into another big girl party dress, and this is an element that's like a leather strap, but when you wear it, it kind of becomes an underneath belt. My grandmother taught me to sew when I was a little girl, so it really came in handy. But you know, I've always loved clothes. Oh, here's one that kind of is the other part of that dress. So here's like, it's kind of a dress that has a tie, long, one sleeve long, and one sleeve is a little cardigan cape.
But you said you finished the series today. You're done. And so after this, you're going to go back to your studio and resume painting?
You know, I think I might brave it. You know, maybe gear up, mask up. It's hard because, you know, I've been doing stuff, I've been feeling creative, it's been a lot of fun, but school is out.
Okay,
I need to go back to my studio.
To wind up, my last question is, besides making a whole new body of work, Margiela Homeschool, over the last month of COVID time, what else have you been doing? How else have you been spending your time during this weird period?
Oh, you're gonna make me like do my entire like nerd confession.
Yeah, go ahead. Give us, to end, we want a nerd confession from you.
Nerd confessions by me. I've been studying French for the past about 5 years, so I've been really doing a lot of French. I'm on an online WhatsApp French community, and none of us are French. There's people literally from Algeria to Brazil, Ukraine, and I'm one of only a few Americans in the group. So I've been doing my French group. I've been reading, I would love to read American history so I can understand this crazy country. So I've been reading a lot of American history.
Can you just give us the title of the best book you've read during this quarantine? And that's just the title.
The Half Has Never Been Told.
By who's the author?
Edward or Edmund Bishop.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bishop. I loved your book. And, oh no, it's Baptiste. Now you're making me screw up. Edward Baptiste. Excellent book. Very disturbing, but it's the way it is. Half Has Never Been Told.
And I think that's probably the great way to end, because the half has really never been told here in these 5 minutes.
The half never gets told, people.
The half never gets told.
But that book is no joke.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thanks for the studio visit.
You're welcome.